Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a little life update for you guys. So basically, I decided to end my relationship with my partner. Now, the reason that I decided to end my relationship is not because something happened or the relationship was toxic or whatever. Literally nothing happened. However, I still decided to end it.
Well, that sounds healthy. My relationship is perfectly fine, and that's why I decided to end it. I'm sure this video will be full of good advice.
And I wanted to make this video not because I feel obligated to give you guys an explanation or anything. However, I do think that there's people in the same situation as me that have a good relationship, but they don't feel like, oh, I can get out of it because there's nothing really wrong with the relationship. So why do I feel like this? But you still want to get out of it. And for you guys, I want to make this video because people will shame you when you get out of a relationship like that. Yeah, like you will hear so many opinions of like, oh, what you did was so wrong, you're a horrible person. But you know inside of yourself that staying is not an option for you.
A part of that is correct. She doesn't have to explain anything to us. Personally, I think influencers and celebrities should be as private as possible about their relationships. Though after watching this video, it sounds to me, based on the information that she revealed, that she's making this video to explain herself to protect her reputation instead of sharing information that will actually help her audience, which ultimately is going to end up poisoning them with bad ideas. But anyway, for those of you who don't know, this is 24-year-old Thewizardliz, a woman's self-help / financial / femininity guru that I made a video on a few months ago where I talked about how she mixes a lot of very bad relationship advice in with her self-help content like this.
This is an unpopular opinion and people probably gonna be like, oh, what are you saying? This is really not good. Selfish people win at the end of the day.
Anyway, there were some assertions about her not actually knowing what she's talking about in the video that I made from a few months ago, and Liz breaking up with her boyfriend essentially confirmed them. The biggest one being that Liz parades around as being a self-made rich person who knows the secrets to financial success and has so much money that she can make it rain everywhere.
You can literally turn your life around, and which is what I did, and I am shocked, to be honest, because now I'm like sitting in a park. I moved to a different country. I have my own apartment. I make more money than I could ever imagine.
Listen, I am a very generous person. With my female friends, I always, like, if they want to come down here in the country where I live, I will pay for the flight. I will pay for them, like, for everything, like their stay, everything. I don't mind paying for dinner.
When I initially made the video on her, I was very confused about how she got all that money. Her channel only has 105 million views on it as of this video, which is actually incredibly low for her subscriber count, like suspiciously low. Anyway, 105 million views will give you a decent amount of money, but not the kind of liquid cash that she was claiming to have. On top of that, I looked through tons of her content and never saw a brand deal, so there's no way she was making anything close to the 7 figures or the high 6 figures that she was implying that she was making. Well, it turns out that the obvious was true, and Liz's strategy to becoming rich was to date a guy who was already rich.
Now for me, I literally have no motivation and no more passion for life, like at all. Because I literally, like, the amount of money even that I let on the table, and I didn't do brand deals or I didn't do anything because I thought, whatever, it doesn't matter, I have my partner. That's what I mean. Like, I am not working towards my goals as hard as I should.
I thought so. Her boyfriend pays for all her bills. That's why she can afford a ton of luxuries as an unmarried woman with what is probably only an upper middle class income where she lives. Anyone who is looking for money-making advice from Liz should have caught that. Especially after that TikTok she released where she essentially humiliates her ex publicly by calling him to pay for her stuff because she spent her own money on accident. It's one thing to buy your girlfriend things because you're being generous. However, it gets abusive when your girlfriend essentially publicly states that it's a requirement to pay and signals with her video that she will shame you in front of lots of people if you don't. This whole thing is funny to me though, because she's like, I'm one of those law of attraction people and I have a video on manifesting financial success, when her actual strategy was just to date a rich guy. Thanks, Liz. I'm sure no woman has ever thought of that before. Not to say that it's wrong to date someone who is rich, but I think it's immoral to virtue signal about how rich you are as a way of suggesting to people that you know the secrets to making money when you weren't the one who made it. And I'm not being hyperbolic here. 6 months ago, she is literally framing herself as a self-made millionaire type who can teach you how to be financially independent.
And honestly, I did it, and I came from nothing. I did not come from money. I did not come from a stable household, and I completely turned my life around. I make more money than I could ever imagine.
Personally, I don't think Liz is an expert at really any of the things that she talks about. I mean, she is straight up shilling a therapy journal that she created after only 6 months of mental health work.
Hi, my name is Liz, and I am the author and designer of the journal, Thewizardliz Guide to Inner Healing. This is a journal I started creating 6 months ago. I am a person that is dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder, and I started my healing journey for my traumas about 6 months ago.
Not only are you not a mental health professional, but you've only been studying the material for a few months and you're like, I'm a master, I can fix you, buy my book. So I don't think Liz is actually qualified to teach anything she teaches, except for maybe how to get rich men by getting an overwhelming amount of plastic surgery. And holy crap, it looks like she's gotten more since my last video on her. Seriously, a tiny bit of plastic surgery is okay, but when your face constantly looks like a perfectly round circle that was stung by a bunch of bees, then it's time to stop. A little asymmetry is okay. So are normal-sized lips. But if you want to learn how to get a rich man and emotionally manipulate him into buying you things, then Liz is perfect at that. Here's what she has to say on that subject.
What you can do now is you make your man believe that either your friend, your sister, I don't know, some female in that you know is getting treated so well by her boyfriend, by her partner, by her husband. You should say like, oh my God, my friend, she literally, like, she's always taken care of by her husband or her boyfriend. He always does everything for her. Oh, he just bought her this and that.
So you're telling women to manipulate men by comparing them to other guys? I'm sure that will create a stable relationship. Honestly, if a woman wants to talk to you about how great other men are, then you should talk to her about how great other women are. All the more reason for why I don't think Liz should really be giving any advice on anything other than how to get rich guys to pay you by any means necessary. I know she talks a lot about femininity and being in her feminine energy, yet in pretty much every video, she has the most masculine expression on her face that a woman can have. Also note that she broke up with her rich boyfriend, who was providing everything for her, to go be a girl boss, which is quite possibly the most masculine thing a woman has ever done. So you aren't going to learn how to be feminine from Liz either. Which brings us to the next thing that I said in my initial video that reigns true, which is that she often gives very bad mental health advice to her female audience and actually encourages pathological relationships. Let's listen to more about why she broke up with her boyfriend.
I don't have that fire anymore. And to be this comfortable, I don't like it. I don't want to be this comfortable, you know? I want to have passion in life. I want to have like that strive for life again, and I want to go after my goals.
A guy is providing you comfort, stability, and is paying all your bills, and that's a turnoff for you? It sounds ungrateful. It's also weird considering that the video that you made right before the breakup told women to live a lifestyle that you personally find unfulfilling. And you made a meditation video that was designed to make people rich that told them to live a life of comfort.
It is not bad to want money. Money is a way to a comfortable and easy life. A life we as humans naturally desire and deserve. Comfort is our human nature.
This video was made less than a year ago, and she's already like, I don't want to be comfortable. She changes her opinion more than Sneeko does. Now, before I comment on this further, I have to give a little backstory. Liz has been fairly open about not having the greatest childhood. She had a father who was very abusive, and I mean very abusive from what she said, like the kind of stuff that you hear on the We're All Insane podcast. That kind of childhood sets up a certain psychological template that I'm going to have Dr. Drew Pinsky describe.
When awful things happen in childhood, when things that terrorize us in childhood happen, physical abuse, sexual abuse are sort of the paradigms, abandonment, something about those experiences, and I'm going to use a biological sort of way of describing it, wires our brain in such a way as to, and this is going to sound kooky, but it's simply how humans work. Terror gets converted into attraction around the age of puberty. So we start getting attracted to people and circumstances that really reenact the traumas all over again. So we go, if you're a young lady and you had an abandoning dad, you were suddenly attracted to unavailable men who, of course, oblige you by abandoning you. And the interesting part about this, if a really available guy becomes available, you feel uncomfortable with those guys. They feel clingy and uncomfortable and too The closeness is something you're not accustomed to and it doesn't feel right, rather than the longing and the pursuit.
This is a very common pattern that victims go through. It's why childhood trauma is terrible, and it's why people who abuse children should receive the worst treatment from society. The abuse not only sets up a really hard pattern to break where the person becomes attracted to abusers that they may never get over, so it essentially ruins their life or at minimum requires years of therapy to learn how to manage, but even if they end up meeting someone who is actually good for them, they will sabotage the relationship. To add on to that, when these people aren't in the presence of an abuser, they will often become the abusive partner. Let's continue.
First of all, I was way too comfortable in the relationship, and I posted about this on TikTok, and I said that I was way too comfortable, and then everybody was like, oh my god, you're so toxic, isn't that good being comfortable, blah blah blah. Being comfortable is good. Being way too comfortable is not good. When people become way too comfortable in a relationship, they don't want to do anything anymore. That's why you see a lot of people, they stop looking after themselves, like they don't care about anything anymore because they think, oh, I just have my partner, I already have him, whatever, you know? And then the partner starts to lose attraction for the person, or the person starts to feel really bad about themselves and they become very insecure.
Yes, this is exactly how victims who haven't gotten treatment describe healthy relationships. I was too comfortable, he was boring, he's too clingy. What she is likely describing is that she is unhappy because there isn't drama. She's so comfortable, she doesn't feel like he's going to cheat or abandon her, so she feels like she can stop taking care of herself. Liz, if you stop taking care of yourself because your boyfriend isn't in some way signaling that he's going to leave you, then you don't actually care about him. Taking care of your appearance is a baseline thing in a relationship for both parties, particularly when a number of your videos like that princess treatment one that I showed earlier are of you saying that you deserve to be given money because of your appearance. You're letting healthy guys who would date you know that after you get comfortable, you aren't going to give them what they paid for. Now, there may be a viewer of Liz who might say, but Liz has been in therapy for a while now. Yeah, kind of. Except her therapist is a hippie psychic.
As you know, I have a therapist. Now, the difference from my therapist and a regular therapist is the fact that my therapist is clairvoyant, psychic. But my therapist has been seeing ghosts, entities since the age of 4.
Liz, please get a real therapist. Now, Liz did this video where she revealed all of her therapist's tricks on how to be healthy, and it was pretty much the therapist recommending OCD rituals as treatments.
When you shower in the evening, it's very, very important to shower. Now, in the shower, you need to do an aura cleanse. An aura cleanse is basically when you are putting water in yourself and you're showering, you have to visualize all the darkness and the bad energy just with the water floating off of you. You can like, what I do is I visualize dark, like blackness or whatever coming off of me, and just that I'm cleansing myself. And you can even say mantras like this water is cleansing me completely from any negativity that has attached to me today, or whatever, you know, things like that you can say. So she also taught me every time before you go to bed, you need to call back your power. So you have to say this mantra, which is basically, I call back my power from every entity, place, person, and situation that has been stealing my energy and power from me now.
Make sure you shower off all the dark energy and say your affirmations 3 times before you go to bed. Thanks. Not only do your clients have to deal with trauma, but they now have to deal with obsessing about dark spirits or demons attacking them if they don't do a bunch of rituals every day.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
Mrs. Kelly,
Yes?
why are you doing everything in threes?
Oh, so Charlie doesn't die.
This is why getting good information is so important. People with bad info can very easily make your life worse.
I can love a woman. I can love a woman very deeply. It does not go the same way for a man. And maybe this is because my trauma or whatever, but it's also because I don't allow myself to love a man that much, right? Because maybe I'm terrified of getting hurt. Maybe I'm terrified of being abandoned. These are all like issues that are underlying, and I'm aware of them, you know?
This video was made a year ago, and I can see her therapist really helped her on that one. Liz is totally not avoiding intimacy in this relationship and then telling her audience to do the same. She needs a new therapist, preferably a male therapist, because her primary trauma stems from her father, so she probably needs a masculine influence to fix this. If someone had an abusive mother, then I would recommend a female therapist. Sometimes you need both. But she needs someone who is going to spend an hour with her talking about actual issues instead of theories about ghost encounters. Maybe this hypothetical male therapist can point out some of the ways that Liz is actually quite the unappreciative girlfriend.
I'm in a long-term relationship, and I can literally say men are like children. They are like a child. So a woman puts a lot of energy into communicating with a man, into even telling him how to sit, how to dress, what to do. It's like having a child.
That statement had to come from somewhere, and she is obviously talking about her recent ex, as she stated that he doesn't care about how he dresses in her princess treatment video. He must not watch her videos, because if I saw her unironically and not jokingly saying that I was a child in front of almost 1 million people, that would have led to an argument. Keep in mind that this is a guy who essentially made Liz's career, to which she was not transparent about stuff like this at all in her older videos.
The reason why I love a man that provides and spoils is because, for example, my partner that I have right now, he was literally the reason that I could go into therapy. I did not have any money before I met him, and the money he gave me, I took it and I went to therapy with it. Without that, I would have literally not been able to be here and to start my healing journey.
So you lied. At the very least, you lied by omission. When I made the video on her several months ago, I watched every single video that she uploaded to YouTube, which is her main platform, and she never said this. She full-on suggested that she was this big financial guru that had an insurmountable amount of wealth.
Right now, if I leave my relationship, I can take care of myself and 7 children. Literally, I can live a luxury lifestyle on my own with my own money.
Like I said, 105 million views is a decent chunk of change, but it's not like generational wealth in the US, especially in the city. It's not even $1 million. So her partner is paying for all this stuff, and she repays him by basically humiliating him in multiple videos. Here's an example of that from that video that she said she was so grateful to him for paying for her therapy.
My first boyfriend ever, when I was 19, he was a multi-millionaire. He was extremely wealthy, and I was broke. Now, my partner now, he is nearly not at all as wealthy as my first boyfriend.
Yeah, my ex-boyfriend was a multi-millionaire, and my current boyfriend is a Brokey by comparison. She just casually says that in front of people, so I bet it's been brought up in the relationship. Particularly considering that she told her followers to shame their guy by saying that other guys are better than him in that same video. A ton of her videos are on how important she thinks money is, so imagine dating someone who has money as a top priority to the extent that her whole channel is based on it, and then have her tell people in public that you don't make as much money as one of her exes. Are you going to say he's not as good in bed too? This is of course coming from the most selfless person in the world, Liz, who makes videos about how she is such a people pleaser and how she is just too caring.
I'm at a point in my life where I wouldn't even date myself because I don't think I have a healthy pattern when it comes to dating, because I always put my partner first.
Yes, because putting your partner first is such a terrible thing. But seriously, life advice, do not trust people who constantly virtue signal about how selfless they are. Those are always bad people because they aren't helping people to help them. They're helping people so they get narcissistic praise for it. From what I see publicly and what Liz has said about her relationship, she sounds like an incredibly selfish person who is very much looking to use people. You can see that in her video about princess treatment, where she doesn't tell women to be pleasant and caring to inspire their boyfriend to be generous. She tells them to emotionally abuse them into buying stuff. Ironically, she starts the video off by saying, "Don't demand things from your partner." But how is manipulation any different? It's not just that, though. I also talked about some of this in my last video when it came to her basically saying that she will only be friends with someone if they can specifically benefit her.
In what way will you elevate me? If there is no way that this person will either elevate me, will make me smarter, will make me happier, whatever, I do not start a friendship or a relationship with that person because I do not benefit from it. And you might say, no, that's such a selfish way of thinking. Yeah, okay, and let me be selfish.
And if one of them makes one wrong step against her, she will oust them from being her friend.
I don't like to get disrespected, but I also not the kind of person that will get offended by anything and everything constantly and, oh, you have to walk around eggshells. No, I'm really chill. you know, but I have my boundaries and you will not cross my boundaries. There's one disrespect, you're out. I do not care how many years I've known you, how close we were, how much you know about me, you're out.
So you would think that a woman who has her boundaries that will not be crossed would be very careful about publicly embarrassing someone who was very close to her. Nope.
My ex-partner is the kind of person, he doesn't have friends. Like, he's very antisocial. He doesn't like socializing.
Yeah, my ex was a loser who had no friends, and he never left the house. Imagine this guy paying for your therapy, you break up with him for not having friends, and then you call yourself the selfless one.
There's so many things that he needs to work on that he doesn't want to work on because he thinks like, oh, whatever, I just have Liz. But now that he doesn't have me anymore, because we're still texting, he told me, he's like, oh, I'm immediately fixing this, I'm doing this, I'm gonna go to therapy now. He has fire again. He has passion again because it's like, oh, I don't want to lose the person that I love the most. And I think we both need that, like, fire again.
He's also mentally ill, and he's super clingy.
Like, for him, it's me and him together, that's it. Like, he doesn't need anyone else, and he needs he's very clingy. So he constantly needs me around everywhere, or calls me or whatever, you know?
He's definitely not the person of my dreams.
I want to become my dream woman. So whoever comes into my life will be my dream person that matches my vibration and matches my energy. Don't let people shame you or feel like, oh, why are you doing this? Like, this is such a bad idea, whatever.
I counted 7 different times that she shamed her ex in that video, and it's not that hard to find her doing it while they were in the relationship as well. For a person who cares so much about other people, a person who said she wanted to be private about this and was insistent that people do not cross her, she sure has no problem humiliating her ex while they were dating, and no problem being really public about his failures in the relationship during the breakup video, while mentioning none of her own. Did you guys who watched the video catch that? Liz is supposed to be this selfless person who puts her partner first, but she is clearly destroying her ex's reputation to save her own. She specified that he was a clingy loser with no friends, but when it came to her problems, it was like, I have to work on stuff. She did that job interview thing where you frame a fault as a positive.
So tell me about a weakness of yours. The common tactic with this question is to write a strength, but word it as a weakness. Like, oh, I'm such a perfectionist with my work that I'll give up all of my spare time to make sure my shit gets done at the cost of me own family. Fuck 'em. That's the kind of thing you have to say, right?
Yeah, I just had to end the relationship because I want to work hard and I put my partner first too much. Liz, as a selfless person, you would never have brought up your ex's issues in public, and if you really wanted to help others, then you would discuss the ways that you failed in the relationship as a way of helping people self-reflect, instead of spending the whole video taking jabs at your ex, while at the same time trying to make it look like you were caring while doing it. Oh guys, I only told you that he's a loser with no friends because I care and I want him to improve. That is some high-level sociopathy. Here's how you actually talk about a breakup with your viewers if you're selfless and trying to keep things private. Hey guys, I know my boyfriend is a topic of discussion on this channel every now and then, so I feel obligated to mention that we broke up. I want to maintain everyone's privacy, so I'm not going to say why we broke up, and this is all I'm going to say about this topic. Really easy. Though honestly, coming back to her content a few months later, it seems like she went from giving okay, typical self-improvement advice to saying some pretty sociopathic stuff.
Try dating a broke guy. Those men have no money, but they have audacity. One thing in life that broke men have is audacity. And truly, honestly, if I was a broke man, I would have audacity too. Like, I don't need to do anything for you, and you're literally gonna give me all wifey treatment, you're gonna do everything for me, and you're working on top of that as well, and maybe even giving me money. I would have audacity too. You're so easy for me. Like, truly, that's how I think. She's so easy. Don't be afraid to ask men for things. Like, men are literally not afraid to ask us for anything. They will ask you to take your clothes off in 2 seconds, so it doesn't matter. Ask them, give me money.
Does she realize that she just said that she would abuse a partner if he let her? Then she said it's fine to treat your partner like crap and be demanding because of something other people are doing? He's guilty of someone else's behaviors? Yeah, it sounds like a hyper-selfless person who cares about her boyfriend's needs before hers would say that. Also this.
And as much as I hated going through what I went through in my childhood, if I did not experience those things, I would not be where I am today, because my career is literally based on giving advice based on my circumstances, based on what I went through.
Another point against her for being ungrateful is that this guy is essentially the reason that she has stuff to talk about on her channel because he provided her therapy and she just threw him in the trash. I mean, she's not even that sad about the breakup.
When somebody comes into your life and you have a relationship with them, sometimes it's not meant to be forever. Sometimes it's only a phase in your life. And I really understood this because people are telling me, oh, why aren't you sad? If this happened maybe 2 years ago, because I really have such a strong bond with my ex-partner, I would have been devastated. I would have been heartbroken. But I understand life differently. My value doesn't come from having a partner or relationship. My value comes from myself.
Breakups suck, and I can't imagine how she's able to not feel emotional about a breakup with a guy who played an integral role in her alleged mental recovery and the success of her YouTube channel, even if she was the one who initiated the breakup. The only way you can do that is if you don't actually care about the person that you're dating. You're just using them as a means to an end. Oh, and then she has the audacity to suggest that they could get back together.
Once, like, I have worked on my issues and he has worked on his issues, there is a possibility for us to get back together, obviously.
She literally called him a beta male who has no friends, and she's like, we might get back together. If this guy was a real man, then he would never get back together with you after the video you just released. Now, I saw this comment here that she pinned explaining her situation. After reading it, I don't think it's the actual reason they broke up, because Liz said she broke up with him because she wanted to make more money, and there are plenty of ways to fix this alleged codependency problem without destroying the relationship. So this reasoning sounds dumb. I still think they broke up because Liz can't handle real intimacy, so she's looking for an excuse to distance herself instead of learning how to manage her feelings. And she's also dragging this guy along with her. But you can see here that he supports the video, so GG for that guy. Have fun wasting more of your time and money on her. Wait, it says here that they still talk and have lunch. Is he still paying her bills? I've seen some of these high standards girlies expect dumb stuff like breakup alimony, so I don't think this idea is out of the question. And bro, read this comment. She's friend-zoning you. She's also like, I just wanted to make sure that I put this in text because it's easier to lie that way. But just in case you thought I came off like a heartless bitch in that video, I want you to know that I cried my eyes out. Seriously, I was really broken up about it, even though I had no emotions about a major breakup that just happened, and I said I wasn't sorry in the video. Trust me, guys, you know I've always been honest. What? First off, she lied about her success, and second, her previous video straight up tells women to lie to their partners. Geez, Liz, Gal Gadot already got the part. You don't need to audition to be the evil queen in Snow White. Also note that she starts the comment off with, respect me. Why? Why should we give respect to someone who pretty blatantly disrespected her ex? Though if there was anything that Liz was right about, it's that her ex needs friends who will ridicule him for putting up with this, so he doesn't continue to make this mistake.
I know that this is the best thing I'm ever gonna do in my life right now. Like, this is my best decision and I believe this. And I just really believe that whatever I do is for the better of me. Like, I truly trust myself on that. Any decision that I've ever made in my life has brought me here. And this is actually the reason that I'm this successful today is because of me. And because of the decisions I made and because of my intuition that I listened to.
Wow, with that kind of logic, you can justify and fail to learn from any terrible decision you've made. That being said, what certainly can be determined is that Liz is speaking on a lot of things that she has very little knowledge in. Selling a therapy journal and pretending that she knows how to help people with trauma after only 6 months of therapy and no background in psychology should have been a huge red flag for her not knowing what she's talking about. Not to mention her horrendous suggestion that lying on the floor for 30 days and repeating affirmations will make you rich.
Know that this is your reality now. In the following 30 days, you will see an increase of money coming your way. Listen to this meditation every night for 30 days and watch your whole mindset about money and life change.
I want a progress report on that one to see if a broke person was actually able to make a significant increase in their wealth in 30 days after lying on the floor and saying affirmations. Or is making lots of money likely a slow process that takes years of hard work, struggling, and learning to figure out? It's obvious that Liz doesn't know anything about making millions. She was setting aside brand deals because she was too comfortable. Brand deals are a lot of work to get, even if you have a big channel, and they typically require an agent to negotiate for you, so you don't get lowballed and screwed by the advertising agency. The only ad I've seen her do is BetterHelp, and they don't have the best reputation, so I don't think she's super skilled at this. She probably thought the 99% of offers creators get that are actually scams were real. If those count, then I passed on like a million offers. Also, if she really had a ton of opportunity for good brand deals, which she should, she looks like a Kardashian or Megan Fox and she has 4 million subs, this should be easy. But if she really had all that opportunity, then she wouldn't be advertising this Chanel bag for free, like a ton of times.
I think it's actually very insecure if like people only focus on having luxury items and showing off that they have it. Like, it shows insecurity because something outside of you, some brands you're trying to validate yourself with.
It's really funny that she said that because I found her carrying a Birkin Hermes bag in multiple Instagram photos. I know most guys watching this are going to have no idea what that is, nor will they know about the dumb retail scam that women fall for just to get an Hermes bag, but just know that it's a really expensive purse. I believe this is the exact one that she has, and it's over $13,000. Liz shows off designer stuff all the time. How do women not catch this hypocrisy? But speaking of brand deals, check out Reed Street Soap. If you're a guy, get the Blue Collar Scrub or the Day at the Beach soap. I'm completely addicted to how they smell. There's also a bunch of soaps for women too. You can find them by clicking on the first link in the description. So as I was saying, it is very important that you vet the people that you allow to give you information. There are endless numbers of people out there who act like experts but don't actually know anything. The simplest way to vet a person is to ask, do they actually have the thing that they are claiming that they can help me obtain? If they don't, then they probably aren't going to be able to give you good and accurate advice. Second, you can watch them display their skill, and if their skill is like Steven Seagal's martial arts skill, where you can see that all of his opponents are jumping into the throw, and he's not actually flipping them, then they are probably a fraud. You can't just nonchalantly do takedowns like this. Throwing a person requires way more movement. Seriously, how did so many people fall for this shit? I guess it's because no one had internet back then. But for the most part, even if you aren't that knowledgeable in a particular skill, you'll probably have some sense of what is quality work and what is not quality work. If you aren't that great at spotting that right now, then just keep your attention focused on quality, and you'll eventually figure out how to better guess who knows what they're talking about. Last, people who are skilled will be able to concisely explain complex ideas, and more importantly, they should be able to produce a noticeable improvement in your skill in a relatively short amount of time. Particularly if you're a beginner, like it should take a week or two. If you've been there for 6 months and nothing's gotten better, find a new teacher. I cannot stress this enough. You will heavily stunt your growth by allowing people who don't know what they're talking about to teach you. Not only will you waste your time, but you'll often have to spend additional time unlearning bad habits that they taught you. However, if you have a good teacher, they will exponentially speed up your progress. Anyway, thanks for watching, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.